So, hello, first of all. Date night turned into an impromptu review.
Of a
Take
movie
a
that
guess what we're watching.
a movie we both have not seen.
I have not seen this one. I also don't own a Batman or a DC shirt, hence RoboCop kicking some butt.
I'm wearing my Harley Quinn one.
Yes, you are. You are. So we watch... Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. You could have just called it Birds of Prey starring Harley Quinn or featuring Harley Quinn. But what do I know? I know Harley Quinn's never been on the Birds of Prey. That's what I know. Used to read a lot of comic books. A lot.
I would say nerd alert, but I like nerds.
I could tell you things about, the comic book characters compared to their movie characters. Unless you want to get on that rant. Didn't think so. What'd you think of the movie?
I liked it very much. You're not surprised, I'm sure.
No. It was alright. It was okay.
R.I.P. that egg sandwich in the beginning, though.
I will say this. Ewan McGregor was just having a fun time with this role.
Yes, he was.
And it's a total departure from the comic book. You're going to hear that a lot probably this review. Because in he had some dark moments in this, but in the book he's not really funny at all. He's just kind of serious, and he is broken and damaged because he was dropped on his head as a baby, and that's what led to the little, needing attention, needing people to like him, this, that, and everything else. But in this, yeah, he's mentally broken, and he's just having a good old time with it. And sorry if you hear something, that's the laundry room back there. Margot Robbie's pretty much Harley Quinn.
One thing I do have to say about her, and I mentioned this to you while we were watching it, she is so animated.
With her face,
and
yeah.
with her face, and she just reminds me of the cartoon a bit. With some of her facial expressions and some of the things that she says and does, she won me over.
Yeah. When we
she
talked
really
about
did.
The prison scene, that was her. I'm not sure if that was all her in the evidence room scene, but
still.
She did train. She trains a hell of a lot for this role, so she gets props for that.
And all the roller skating scenes.
All the roller skating scenes.
I used to roller skate, so...
Rosie Perez's detective, Renee Montoya. It's always good to see Rosie Perez in something. And don't hold me to this. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's another character, Renee Montoya, that started out in the cartoon like Harley Quinn and then just became so popular they moved her over to the comics. And she was actually a big difference. She's a respected police officer in the GCPD. In the comics, she's one of Gordon's best, which is another thing I pointed out in this. I was like, where's Gordon? If she's getting screwed over this much, where's Gordon to kind of put an end to that?
Mm-hmm.
And Mary Elizabeth Winstead? The Huntress. She's the Huntress.
She was my favorite.
More confident talking to people in the comics, but other than that, she had it down pack.
She did.
The look, killing people, I was fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm going to screw up pronouncing the canary's name, so let's just take a quick gander so I can see and know I'm not stalling because I can't find a name. I'm totally stalling because I can't find a name. But yeah, the Black Canary, because her name's not on the back of this. Crap. Yeah, she's good. I had no problems with her. I had no problems with the Black Canary in this. I'll admit
she was awesome. She was my second favorite character. I loved Huntress and then her.
I'm used to, in all medias, I could show you my shelf over here. It's full of Mortal Kombat characters. I'm a Mortal Kombat and Injustice fan. She's an Injustice, and she is just a force to be reckoned with, fighting-wise.
Mm-hmm.
2 fight scenes in this? She had?
Yeah.
Beating up the 2 would-be rapists, and then the fight at the end, right?
Yeah, the goons in the beginning and then the goons at the end.
I'll be honest, I didn't need to see the fishnets, but I was hoping for the black leather jacket. I was hoping for her wearing that. But, oh well. Are we done with this?
I guess.
Okay, didn't break anything. Cool. I was waiting for that. I was.
Well, actually, we should bring up what happened in the beginning of...
Soon as the title screen came on, because it took a while for the title screen to come on.
Yeah, it did.
I'm sorry, that's a pet peeve of mine with movies, especially if you've ever seen the Friday the 13th remake. The title screen doesn't come on for about 20 minutes.
Neat. But yeah.
So, when she blows up Access Chemicals and the title screen comes on, my Suicide Squad Harley figure, yes, it's on the shelf with the Mortal Kombat people, because, mixing the shells, it fell, and the head broke off. The body was over here, the head was way over there.
Under the bed.
So we had to stop for a good 10 minutes to find this damn head. But yeah, it's patched up, a little rubber cement. I gotta get a new Harley Quinn figure.
I found it funny, but I was not going to bring it up, that it was coincidental that Harley was the one.
And it's the Harley that broke, yep. I would like to point that out, too, about this movie. When Suicide Squad came out, they did a line of action figures. There's only been one action figure released for this, and it's, well, not the one action figure, but Harley in the yellow overalls and her with that
crazy jacket. What is up with that jacket?
No other character got any figures. And I think it's time for a Renee Montoya action figure, whether it be the animated series or Rosie Perez.
No, I want the Huntress.
Huntress has action figures. I used to have them until I sold them all.
Christmas is coming and you really like your girlfriend.
She's okay, yeah. I'll get her a Ewan McGregor action figure. See? Plot to this. Harley and the Joker broke up. That's like the first 20 minutes of this, just before it even gets into the plot.
Yeah.
All of Gotham then finds out, so all of Gotham wants Harley dead. Why? She didn't do anything. Why? She's not with the Joker anymore. Yeah, her and the Joker did a lot of crap when they were together and pissed everybody off.
Yep.
That's a curse word. Kind of. So now all of the Gotham's underworld, most of Gotham's underworld, it's not really specific, wants her dead. Meanwhile, Roman Sionis is getting a diamond that has a code on it. It's a bank code and it has billions on it. He's going to take the billions and fund his criminal organization to become the Gotham Kingpin. I'll be honest, when I heard that, I was like, where's Oswald doing all this? Oswald is the Gotham Kingpin. That's the Penguin, for those who don't know. Cassandra Cain
Even I knew that.
Steals the diamond. She gets arrested. She swallows the diamond. Sionis says, all right, Harley, give me the diamond, and then tells everyone else on his mercenary list, give me the diamond.
Making it harder for Harley to...
Canary's Sionis's lounge singer, club singer,
yeah,
and driver, that's how she gets involved. Montoya is trying to stop Sionis, build a case against him, tell the Canary she's more, stop Harley, figure out who this crossbow killer is. Crossbow killer is involved because she's going around killing mobsters that all work for Sionis because they killed her family. You've read the comic, I'm sure you know her story. It's actually very, for the most part, accurate with her stories that another mob family did kill her family. Zazz was not there. We'll get into Zazz.
Yeah, it kind of hit a sore spot with him.
But the whole plot is to get Cassandra Cain to get this diamond because it has billions. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It is like a circus of a movie. There's a lot going on, especially the timeline.
Yeah, because he was like, wait, no, there's a part, and then he's like trying to rewind it, and I'm like,
we didn't miss anything.
We didn't miss anything, but we missed something, but then she goes,
why are they all together at once? And then she goes, wait, now we got to go even further back. But you'll notice, after that point, they stopped it. And then just went linear with it. Mm-hmm. If you're going to do the jumping back and forth thing, do it through your whole damn movie. Don't just say, oh, hey, here's this gimmick for half the movie and then go.
No, that was your complaint too. Oh, is it going to be jumping back and forth the whole time? But it didn't.
Was, and I hate that. But if you're going to do it through the whole movie, be consistent with it. But you know why they did it that way, don't you?
No idea.
A certain other anti-hero who dresses in red and black, his first movie, the first half of it was... jumping back and forth, and then the second half...
Yes, but he's my favorite.
He's everyone's favorite now.
He was my favorite before he was everybody's favorite. I hate to sound like a hipster, but...
He came out way before you were even born, darling. He did.
And?
He came out around when I was born, think about that.
You're not that much older than me.
I've got gray hair. You've got dyed hair.
Yeah, I dye my grays. But...
No, she doesn't. But, yes, they stole that gimmick from him. Also, I'm going to say this. Suicide Squad, whatever you think about it, this movie, whatever you think about it, they're really killing it with the soundtracks.
Oh, yeah. I was going to bring that up. The soundtrack was
That's something else they stole
stellar.
from a Marvel movie. If you've ever seen the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, that they had great soundtracks. These soundtracks, they're great. And James Gunn's doing Suicide Squad 2, and he did Guardians, and he knows a great soundtrack. And hopefully, that's going to be the soundtrack that ends us all. That's
yeah,
going to be the one that melts our
honestly,
eyes.
when I heard Barracuda, I was like, yes.
But this, it's okay. Like I said, the jumping back and forth is... Because I really did stop and I was like, they're all in the same place. What did we miss? And
yeah,
then
he really got agitated about
it
that.
It kept going for like 5 minutes before she went, oh, let me stop and rewind. And I went, like, you went from... What's a movie everyone knows? Okay, you went from Hoth in Empire Strikes Back to, Han and Carbonite in Cloud City, and you left all this out. We need the build up to that. And then they actually stopped and went, all right, let's go way back, and I'm going to build it up for you. And that just kind of pissed me off to no end. It did. You don't care. You were just having fun with the movie. Just having fun with the movie. They all did great.
Wait a minute.
Stop. Zazz, I'm sorry.
Stop. Right there. Aren't you supposed to have fun with the movie?
We're going to watch a Serbian film, and you tell me if you can have fun with it.
A movie like this, aren't you supposed to have fun with it?
That's a different story now, isn't it? Smile. Can I talk about Zazz?
Cute.
Can I talk about Zazz? Zazz in this, first of all, I know in the comics, and I know in the video games, and I know in everything else, if you look at his stats, it says he has blonde hair. And in this, he did have dyed blonde hair. But he is a natural blonde, and he shaves his head bald. So I'm used to seeing Zazz bald. He is Sionis's right hand, his
everything.
caregiver. He makes him his breakfast.
Yeah.
He's his top killer. He's also the guy that gets in his head a lot to tell him to do something crazy. He does have the scars. You see a couple scars on his face, and then when he opens up his shirt, you see a lot of scars.
You see a lot of the scars.
Zazz is more brutal in the source material. He's more brutal in the games. I told you about the Zazz in Gotham. He wasn't anything like this, and he's also nothing like the comic books. Zazz is a character. He doesn't work for anyone. He just works for himself. He cares about the mark, the cut.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be Roman's right hand. He's not going to screw around with Black Canary. He's not even going to deal with Harley. He's just going to kill you, pose you, and get the mark.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of straightforward.
He's just basically, he just wants that mark.
Yeah, he wants the kill. He wants the cut.
Kill count.
And seeing him like this, it was just... You could have called him any other character's name and he would have been fine, but calling him Zazz...
They toned him down way too much.
There's even... A lot of people kind of miss this. Batman Begins. I don't know if you've seen Batman Begins.
I might have.
There's a courtroom scene as soon as Bruce Wayne comes back to Gotham with Rachel, Katie Holmes in that one, and she's trying to
I did see that.
Put someone in prison, and Dr. Crane is taking the stand going, no, he needs to be in Arkham. It's the lead singer to one of the British bands. I can't remember which one it is. I'm sorry. But Crane flat out calls him Zazz, Victor Zazz. And when it pans to him, he has 3 giant marks on his head. And when he turns around, he has like cuts on his neck, too. It's a nice little throw at Zazz. This guy looked like Zazz. And you had all these different variations of Zazz. And he didn't have one line. That was another thing. He was menacing without even saying anything. And in
I like characters like that.
He's like I said, if he wasn't called Zazz, if you could have just called him Victor through the whole movie,
mm-hmm.
I would have been like, okay, this is Victor. This is his right hand. It's the guy they're making up for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's Victor Zazz, and it's just kind of...
You could tell,
I didn't like him. I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm sure. I know the actor has been in a lot of shows, and he always is that guy that's whispering into the main bad guy's ear, hey, you should do this, which is what he does here. He does it really good. but you weren't Victor Zazz. I'm sorry.
Can we also talk about that sandwich?
No.
R.I.P. that sandwich. I was really upset about it.
We're doing this at like 11 o'clock at night after the movie's done. She's already thinking about breakfast.
And I really want that sandwich now. It looked really good.
She got a new one at the end.
I don't care.
You're more worried about the sandwich than the hyena.
That hyena
They
was
blew that
awesome.
hyena up. You slow that scene down, I guarantee they blew that hyena
No,
up.
he was fine. I was worried about the
um,
hyena, don't you worry.
The hyena in the movie was actually, it was a dog that they just kind of CG'd the hyena head on.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's awesome.
That's, yeah.
You know what, honestly, I wasn't mad at the hyena at all.
No,
he was cute. He was cool.
He was in there because in
He was
cartoons, comics, Harley has 2 hyenas.
He was a good supporting character.
Yes, his
He
name
really
was Bruce, after that Wayne guy.
After that Wayne guy.
That's what she says.
Yeah, I know. I know.
There's a lot of, like...
The fight scenes were great.
There's a lot of supporting characters in this. I don't even know their names. There's the detective that was always messing with Montoya.
Yeah.
There was the cop that's always messing with Montoya. There was the captain. Her girlfriend, the assistant DA. They say her name twice, and I'm just like, it's Ali Wong. I don't even know. She's a comedian. She's a stand-up comedian. It's like, you're Ali Wong. I don't know your name in this. And then you go over here. Well, we know Sal, because he made the sandwiches.
Sal was awesome.
Sal's
He was the only one I didn't want to kill.
He's the only guy in a movie you go, I like you. Every other guy you just go, this is a scumbag.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, sexist. Ooh, sorry, had something there. Prove me wrong, Silent Bob. Mm-hmm. It's almost like this movie was written and directed by women and starring all women. I'm going to get so much crap for that, aren't I?
From me or from them?
From them. But, like I was saying, all these supporting characters, the bikers show up a couple times, and it's like, you're just showing up to get your butt kicked. I almost said it there. But there's... You even have a stand-in Joker that you never see the front of.
Mm-hmm.
Always from behind.
Yep.
Look, Jared Leto did a fine job as the Joker. I'm a defend that to the day I die. I read the comics for years. I know what interpretation they were going with. He did fine. He didn't want to do a cameo, or you didn't ask him to do a cameo. Okay, at least put him in the stuff he wore.
Mm-hmm.
They literally put him in like the purple jacket that Mark Hamill's Joker would wear, and it just... How do I want to put this? They're all dark and grungy looking in all their colors, and he's bright and purple. Mm-hmm. Like, it stood out too much.
Yeah.
And I get it's the Joker, you're going to say, oh, he needs to stand out too much. This kind of took you out. Like, it was a last minute crap, we need to put him in something.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It was probably an afterthought.
It probably was, and I usually love animations in movies, how they open up.
Mm-hmm.
The Joker and Harley look in this
Yeah.
during the animation
They were too
process.
cutesy.
Too cutesy. Again, going back to the source material, that's not her story.
Yeah.
It's not.
Mm-mm.
And they're just making stuff up, and it's like, fine, you want it to be a dark. I get it. It's DC Universe. They're going into the multi-universe thing with the
Honestly,
Flash.
I think they were just like, hey, I came from this, I made myself into this, and now I'm this. Kind of thing, you know.
Which they recap in the supermarket scene, and it's like, why didn't you just start with that? You jump around enough in this movie, just start with that.
Anyway.
The people who made this movie also, I've noticed, paid a lot of attention to the Arkham video games.
Yes, you did bring that up.
The whole ending is in Amusement Mile. Which I also pointed out, I was like, they drove a long way for the finale on the pier. And you look across the pier, there's the roller coaster from Amusement Mile.
Yep.
So I don't know if that was a mistake or they just went, abandoned roller coaster in the background. It's going to look great. It did.
I mean, it did. It really did.
It did look straight out of a comic book. Is it worth a rewatch? One
No.
and done.
I think so.
One and done. It's all right.
Yeah.
One and done.
I liked it, but I'm good. If I have to watch it again, okay, sure. But other than that, not by choice.
Yeah, this seems like it was a good standalone movie. But when it's part of like this expanded universe, it just makes you want to ask more questions.
Mm-hmm.
You're in Gotham, okay. Where the hell is Gordon? He's not mentioned at all.
Mm-mm.
The Bat's only mentioned at the post-credit scene, and it's not even a
And
scene, it's
also-
just her talking.
When she talked about how the hyena got his name.
Well, that Bruce,
Bruce.
not Batman.
Yeah, but still, he's
There
still the
was
same person.
She doesn't know that.
I know.
Shh. She doesn't know.
Spoiler alert.
Not so Easter egg of Captain Boomerang.
Yeah.
If you point out an Easter egg, is it an Easter egg? Because that's what she did. Like, there's all that stuff. Also, this came out after Justice League, so now there's Flash in this universe, there's Cyborg, there's Wonder Woman, there's Aquaman, there's Superman. All this stuff's going on, and in this universe, Metropolis is right across the bay.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me Superman ain't showing up and being like, yo, what's going on here? I'm hearing gunfire.
Hey guys, what's up?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one. Once over. I don't think I'm going to watch it again, even though now I own it.
Don't you feel awesome?
I own well, I don't own Aquaman. That's the only one I don't own.
Oh, Jason Momoa!
And Django Fett. Don't forget Django Fett.
That's all the other girls. That's not me.
She wanted Django Fett. You're going to keep giving me that look. I'm just going to stare at them and do that stupid smile the whole time. By the way, did we mention this is impromptu after a supposed date night? Gee, who wanted to do the review? Am I wrong?
Hey, you know what? I suggested it. You rolled with it because it's a movie that we both haven't seen, and every other one you've seen except for me. So
No, you've seen Suicide Squad.
yeah, we watched it on my birthday.
Yeah. So you've seen that one too.
Yeah,
You
but
just
I'm
didn't see
saying.
Man of Steel, you didn't see Batman vs. Superman, you didn't see...
But I'm saying this was a movie that we both have not seen, and we might as well just do a review on it or a reaction.
True.
So,
But we could have also just had a nice date night. But here we are, sharing it with you. Hi. Hello. Welcome to our date night. Birds of Prey. The fabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Alright, yeah.
so Forrest,
Yes.
have you seen Birds of
I have not.
Done?